Good evening. I'm Jim Healy from the Finance Committee, and we respectfully ask that you adopt Article 17 to appropriate $1.386 million from the CPA Community Housing Reserve Fund for the Needham Housing Authority to conduct pre-development and design work for the Linden Chambers Housing Project. I will not repeat the information that's contained in the warrant, and I understand the Community Preservation Committee has already made their presentation for this article, as they are the main proponent. Instead, I will try to focus on some of the more salient financial issues. The Finance Committee was first concerned with who was going to help the Needham Housing Authority manage this project. Obviously, this is a major construction project involving many different intricate construction and design processes, and we wanted to make sure that all of these monies would be spent wisely and efficiently. And we were very happy to learn that through a competitive bidding process, the Needham Housing Authority selected the Cambridge Housing Authority as our consultant for both this design work and then also down the road for the potential construction of the units. The Cambridge Housing Authority over the past 10 years or so has been responsible for the modernization and redevelopment of over 2,000 deeply affordable housing units in the city of Cambridge. They are nationally recognized for their work and accomplishments in this field, and they now offer their expertise to other housing authorities in the Northeast region, including now, of course, the Needham Housing Authority. You may recall that the Cambridge Housing Authority provided assistance to the town of Needham and the Needham Housing Authority approximately 10 to 15 years ago when we developed the High Rock Homes project. The next thing we looked at is what is within the $1.386 million. What are the services to be provided? And will they get us to a point where we will make progress with respect to this project? And the answer is yes. We have a very detailed list of what is contained within the $1.386 million, including most prominently and expectedly $1 million for architecture and engineering fees, A&E, who will do this pre-development, zoning, and site work. There's also services that will be provided by wetlands engineers. There'll be a geotechnical report. There's going to be a traffic analysis and a site environmental report, among other items. Two other major components of this amount is a development consultation fee to be paid to the Cambridge Housing Authority in the amount of $150,000. And thankfully, there will be a 10% contingency of $126,000. In all, the Finance Committee is satisfied that the services that will be provided in this $1.386 million are both fair, reasonable, and comprehensive. The next point that the Finance Committee was interested in is why spend this $1.386 million now and why in this fashion? And the Finance Committee concluded that now is the time to make a move on improving and modernizing our affordable housing here in the town of Needham. We also have opportunities at both the federal and the state level and at banking institutional level in order for us to obtain the necessary funds that we will have to get in order to be able to actually build these units. But before we're in a position where we can actually do that construction, we need to be able to go to these lenders and these state and federal agencies and prove to them that we have a plan that's workable and that's doable, and that we have a site that is ready for this type of construction. That's what we will get by doing this pre-development site and topography and geography work. In terms of the total project, phase one, again, that'll be a total of 40 to 60 units to replace 24 that currently exist. Phase one is expected to cost approximately $30 million, and that includes this $1.386 million for pre-design work. Of course, we will need help to raise $30 million, but we are very confident that those sources of funds are available and will be available in the very near future. We asked the Needham Housing Authority and the Cambridge Housing Authority from where these funds would come, and they provided as follows. Our state legislators who do fine work for the town of Needham have been able to put aside $2.75 million for this project, some of which are other state funds, some of which are the ARPA funds. The Department of Housing and Community Development, the state agency, will be able to make available $6.5 million, some out of their public housing funds and some from other DHCD funds that are available for these types of projects. We also expect to be eligible for low-income tax credit program in the approximate amount of $12 million. And the Needham Housing Authority intends to take a mortgage out on these 40 to 60 units, and that mortgage will be repaid through the future rents paid by the occupants. In total, this $30 million is doable. It is obtainable. But in order for us to be able to make the first step towards applying for these funds, we need to tell these sources that we are ready and we have a site that can accommodate the type of project that we want to develop. From a timing perspective, if this warrant article is approved, then we will start that work immediately in the fall of 2022. Phase 1 would then be completed. Construction of phase 1 would be completed in the first quarter of 2026, so a little under 4 years from now. Again, all of the monies, both for this $1.386 million, all of that will come from CPA Housing Reserve Funds. There will be no need to use any money from the tax levy or any need to increase any other taxes to our citizens. For all of these reasons, the Finance Committee recommends adoption of Article 17. Thank you.